Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining me. This is the morning market review. It is Monday, it's the 4th of March. My name is Russell Shaw. I'm a senior market specialist at FXCM. Just going to go ahead and bring up our disclaimers. We'll start off with the high risk investment warning. I'll keep this on screen for a few moments, and then we'll bring up the market commentaries disclaimer. Okay, just another few seconds. Okay, let's bring up the market commentaries disclaimer. Okay, again, I'll just keep it on screen for another three to 5 seconds. Okay, excellent. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll start off our analysis by looking at the real rate. So here is that tab for you. Hey Raj, good morning and welcome. Hope you had a good weekend. What we want to do is just look at our reference candles. So what reference candles are? They potential turning points in the trend. And we just want to see where the bias is. And we'll start off with the real rate. And I think the first thing to note is that the RSI for the real rate has dipped below 50. 50 is the dividing line between a bullish oscillator and a bearish oscillator. So we've gone now down to the bearish side. So it does seem as if the momentum build is for lower rates. That's what we've been looking for. In terms of the reference candle, we're looking at the candle third to last. It has what we call condition 1, the highest high in at least 3 candles, and then the candle to the right has conditions 2 and 3. Condition 2 is that it takes out the low of the reference candle, and condition 3, which is everything, it is the fact that the candle closes below the low of the reference candle. So we've got all 3 conditions there, and that suggests that we may have a turning point here in terms of our real rate. Hey Brashid, morning to you and welcome. Now we have postulated, hypothesized that rates will be coming down. In other words, the Fed is likely to embark on a rate cutting exercise for 2024. It's been pushed back from March through to May, and pushed back from May through to June. So the first rate cut that we're looking at is probably in June, but it looks as if the real rate now is starting to discount that. Okay, starting to price that. And why that's important is because there is a correlation between the real rate and the US dollar, and there's also a input in the time value of money, which includes the real rate of return. That's part of the required rate of the return. In other words, as the rate comes down, as the yield comes down, it's going to affect the time value of money, and it's going to affect demand for, say, the greenback. And what we'll do next is take a look at the greenback and see how it is reacting to the fact that we have a potential reversal coming into the real rate. Now, the thing about a reference candle, it's important for us to acknowledge, is that if you're going to have a swing, if there's going to be a swing, there is going to be a reference candle. Okay, but a reference candle doesn't necessarily lead into a swing. Okay, so whether we get a swing down here is not guaranteed, but the fact is we do have the reference candle priced in now. So let's see how the greenback is looking. So what we'll do is we'll just press the plus button here, and we'll go ahead and bring in the US dollar underneath. All right, and let's just get rid of the RSI. So we've got now the real rate on the top chart, and we've got the dollar on the bottom chart. And what we can see is the correlation as follows. We've got the movement up here in the real rate. Okay, we've got the movement up here in the US dollar. We've got the movement down in the real rate, and we've got the movement down in the dollar. Over here we have the slight increase in the real rate. Okay, and here we have the slight increase in the dollar. Right, so you can see the correlation is pretty strong. Now we're looking at a potential reversal here, and the question is, well, if there is going to be a reversal to the downside, is that going to bring the greenback with it? So that's what we're looking for. Now we don't have the reversal in the greenback just yet. Okay, so hey Shadrach, okay, noted. Okay, and welcome. All right. So what we have here is the reference candle right over here. Okay, so that's the reference candle for the dollar. Now what we can do is we can draw a line in the sand for the reference candle, but what we'll do is we'll be a bit more prudent here, and we'll put it at this low here, because we had the reference candle, then we had condition 2, and we took out the reference candles low, but we never got condition 3. Okay, we never got condition 3. So if we didn't get condition 3, we'll say, okay, fine. Then we're going to want the dollar bears to prove themselves to us and take out the low of this candle here. So we're still looking to see if the reference candle manifests in the US dollar. Now, why that's important is because the US dollar is key. Okay, it's key when we're looking at the majors, because the majors are all measured against the US dollar, right? So if we get a reversal in the US dollar, then we'll likely get some sort of support for the euro, likely get some sort of support for Aussie, pound, etc., etc. So that's why it's quite interesting to see that we have the push down in the real rate. Okay, and now we want to see if we get the push down in the dollar. Okay, so this week's going to be very interesting to see how the dollar behaves. Already there is some red in terms of the dollar. Okay, let's just take a look and see how the other instruments. Hey Anna, good morning to you. Let's see how the other instruments look in terms of reference candles. And what we'll do is we'll go to the weekly chart of what we did say on terrific. Where is the RSI relative to 50? It is moving nicely above 50. However, I think it's worth us just keeping an eye on where are we in terms of the equal weighted index in terms of the 80. So we're not overbought just yet with the equal weighted index, but we're kind of getting pretty close, aren't we? we're tending towards that overbought index, that overbought condition. I beg your pardon. So we just want to keep an eye on that. Now, where is the last reference candle? Well, the last reference candle is actually to the upside. So I think the interpretation here is as follows: healthy, okay, uptrend, not overbought, tending towards overbought. At some stage, there will be some sort of pullback or some sort of profit taking. I think that's healthy in the grand scheme of the technical analysis, because what we'll do is then we'll watch for the pullback, and once we get a pullback, we'll look for the dip in the uptrend so that we can try get in at better prices. Okay, so the idea here is what we're going to do is we're going to watch for the ebb and flow of the trend, and the equal weighted index to me is looking very encouraging. Why is it worthwhile looking at the equal weight index here as opposed to the market cap weighted? Well, the market weighted cap index is overbought, but it's overbought because of the leaders in that weighted index. So I think that the key drivers, the companies that are very heavy in terms of artificial intelligence, including obviously NVIDIA, Meta, they all run very hard. I think that there will be some profit taking at some stage. Again, I would suggest that's healthy. It would relieve some of the foam or the froth or the heat, and then it would allow portfolio managers to get back in at a lower and a better price. Let's just take a look at the SPX 500. Okay, the market cap weighted. Okay, so here you can see that we've got this overbought condition, but it's not on an equal weighted basis. I would suggest that this would need to normalize at some stage. You can see if we go back to say July of last year, that was the last time that it was overbought, and eventually when it did choose to correct, we did get quite a nasty correction here. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to get as vicious a correction as we did last year, but we are kind of getting to that stage where it's looking extremely overbought. And I think that if the RSP, the equal weighted, hits that 80 level, I think we're kind of ripe then for some sort of profit take. So just be aware of that. However, the question I think that is valid is, where is the last reference candle? What we can do is we can just put the arrow in over here. Okay, so there's the lowest low in at least 3 candles, and it's moving up even further. What would be interesting, of course, is if we get a downside reference candle. If we do, okay, we don't have that yet, but it'll be interesting to see a downside reference candle with this overbought condition. Okay, so just we'll keep an eye on how it's going to play out over this week. Let's take a look at DAX just as we're going into the European sessions. The cash opens due to open in about 5 minutes or so. So let's just go through to DAX and see how it's setting up just at the beginning of the day. So we'll do a top-down analysis here. I'm going to go through to the DAX, and of course, where is the reference candle? Well, here is the last reference candle, and I mean, perhaps we can even go to this one over here. But the point is, we pointed out the reference candle here, and then it's just exploded upwards, hasn't it? The DAX. Again, to the point now, we've got this overbought condition. Now, the overbought condition for the DAX is not only on the weekly chart, It's also on the daily chart. So here is the daily. You can see that we've got an explosion of volatility here as per our Bollinger Bands. We are in zone 1, but on the daily chart, we really are overbought. Now, this is the last time we went overbought here. It really took its time uh, before correcting. But the point is that at some stage we're going to have to correct here. The fact of the matter is there is a little bit of red that's coming in. So for this at the start of the week, let's just go down to the hourly on the DAX. All right, so this is the hourly chart. Just watch out here. You can see that we have a bearish cross here in the EMAs. Just watch out for the bearish cross on the stochastic, and once it happens, I'd actually be looking at support levels. So is there going to be some sort of support here? Is there going to be some sort of support here? Okay, so those are the levels that I'd look at, assuming we get the bearish crossover in the EMAs and the bearish crossover in the stochastic. And if we do go down to those support levels, again, I'd be looking for some sort of dip in the uptrend, so something like that. And then a movement up here. Now we've got to be very careful. What I'm suggesting here is very speculative. The DAX is exceptionally overbought at the moment on a weekly and on a daily basis. I'd really like to see that daily overbought condition clear completely. That would make I think the dips in the uptrend a lot more compelling and perhaps safer. But because we've got this overbought condition, it's very important to focus on risk management. There has to be money management implemented. And money management obviously includes stop losses, right? And we are at a particular stage in the market where we are frothy, we are heated, we are overbought. So the risk management process is exceptionally important. So just be aware of that. Okay. Let's just take a look at gold. I just want to take a look at gold in specifically the reference candles in gold. It is on my watch list. And if there has been a reversal in the real rate, I want to see how the yellow metal is behaving. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring up gold and we'll do a top-down analysis here. So this is XAUUSD. Now what we did do, this was mentioned in over a week ago. We've got a reference candle from, this is the fourth to last candle. That's got the lowest low in at least 3 candles. Then you've got condition 2 and 3 following up, and then we had a simply fantastic week last week with gold, the precious metal here. And what we actually did as well is, if you recall, we drew in a trend line down, and we said just keep an eye on gold because the RSI is starting to break out as well. So we're getting a breakout in momentum. We've got a nice reference candle here. Keep your eye on the yellow metal, right? Where are we relative to that 30-week exponential moving average? We're on top of it. What direction is that 30-week exponential moving average pointing? It's pointing up. It's pointing northeast. Okay, so it's looking quite positive. Let's go through to our daily chart for XAUUSD. All right. And we've now moved into zone 1. Okay, we've moved into zone 1. Let's just zoom in here. Okay, we've moved into zone 1. That's between the upper blue and the upper red. What's happening to the Bollinger Bands? The Bollingers are showing a big push away from each other, so the volatility is expanding. So just be careful. We are perhaps tending to get a bit heated, which may suggest some sort of sideways movement. But the reference candle on the weekly, that was telegraphed a week ago. Now you can see that this movement up here on Friday was really terrific movement up. And just want to see the RSI here. Let's take a look at our hourly chart and do an analysis of the precious metal on our hourly. Okay, so you can see that the stochastic is in the upper quintile, isn't it? So as long as we stay in the upper quintile, okay, the momentum I think is going to be there. You can see that there is on the hourly chart some reference candles. So it looks like we're getting a 1, 2, 2, 3, and now it looks like we may be moving into the next 1, 2. Again, just be careful here because there is a lot of froth. We are moving towards it overbought. Again, I'll stress risk management, money management, stop loss, etc. If the stochastic drops below 80, then the momentum may be siphoning out. It may be falling off. So just be aware of that. But at the moment, quite interested just to keep an eye on that precious metal. Okay. Are there any questions? That you have? Anything that you want to take a look at? All right, and I hope that the YouTube is working for you. Okay. If anyone else is having trouble, just let me know. I don't have any other questions coming in. All right, I think let's wrap up here. If you enjoyed this, if you found it useful, just go ahead, click on that boost button, that rocket ship. I'd appreciate that. It will help just with the dissemination of the live stream. What I'll do is I'll set up another live stream for tomorrow at the same time. I want to wish you guys a good day, a good evening ahead, and looking forward to chatting with you tomorrow morning. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.